The problem is that it's got a bad press. People laugh at health and safety. Oh, it's just to stop people doing things. You can't play conkers in the playground because of health and safety. You can't climb up trees because of health and safety. Health and safety is designed entirely to make risky jobs safer, if possible, to eliminate the risk altogether. My name is Len. I am a member of the Oxford Diocesan Guild of Church Bell Ringers Towers and Belfries Committee. I'm responsible for the maintenance of the bells in my own tower, and the reason I'm talking about health and safety is that I'm a retired civil engineer who's spent most of his 40-year career working on heavy construction sites. Before the advent of the 1974 Health and Safety at Work Act, we didn't have any real clear understanding of the cost of accidents to the economy in this country. It wasn't until the Act came into force and forced employers to consider the risks to employees and others that we began to understand just what we were doing. Routine maintenance in most towers is done by volunteers who are not employees of the church and are doing it out of their interest in bells and bell ringing. We need to look at our working environment. You, when you go to work in the tower, need to be aware of what the dangers are to you and to other people. This video is to try and understand about how easy it is to assess the risks and to find a better way of working that eliminates the dangers. What is risk? Well, we live with risk every day. Everything we do has a risk. We encounter all sorts of hazards that can do us damage. I like to make it simple. A risk is something that I need to say, if I do this, will it hurt me? Will I hurt somebody else? If I do this, will I regret it because I don't have the knowledge or the skills to do it properly and it's all gone wrong? How do we assess risks? Well, we assess risks all day long. Every day we assess risks. Crossing the road is a risk. What we're really looking at with the Health and Safety at Work Act is the severity of that risk. Crossing the road. If I don't look where I'm going, I could stumble down the curb as I step onto the road, or I could trip up the curb as I exit the road. More importantly, I could get hit by a car. That could be a simple bump, or it could mean I end up dead. And that's what I mean by the severity of risk. Having taken that action, what is the result to me? It could be anything from cuts and bruises to serious bodily harm to death. And the same applies to when we work in the tower. We can do things that are very simple, which have disastrous consequences. We need to look at our working environment. You, when you go to work in the tower, need to be aware of what the dangers are to you and to other people. When working in the tower, one frequently comes across ladders to gain access from one room to another. When climbing a ladder, it is very important to maintain 3 points of contact for your own safety. 2 feet on the rungs, 1 hand. 2 hands, 1 foot. The same principle applies when working on top of the frame. At all times, try and keep 1 hand on a bell wheel, a stay, or something that you can support yourself with while moving around the top of the frame. This will help you to avoid unnecessary falls. Frequently, People think it's okay to climb up the side of a bell frame and scramble about on top of the bell frame and do whatever they're doing without really thinking about it. But is there a safer way? Would it be better to have a lightweight short ladder that you can climb onto the frame and even climb down into the bell pit afterwards? I do. As I've got older and less agile, it's become a godsend. The things that we do can be written down and then you can think about them. Have I got the skills to do this job? Do I need to call in for professional help to help me? Do I work in the tower alone? Well, very unwise if you do, because if you do have a fall, then you haven't got anybody to call for help. And the health and safety at work statistics show that most of our injuries are caused by slips, trips, and falls. Look at your environment of the tower. From the entrance door, up the stairs, in the ringing room, in the clock room if you have one, in the bell chamber itself. Are there worn stairs, loose handrails, dodgy ladders where the top isn't fixed securely, holes in the floor, worn carpet? Look at all of your environment and list all the things that you think might cause you a hazard, might cause you an injury, and then think about what you can do to improve them. When it comes to working in the tower, you need to be aware that if you're not careful, you're going to fall into the bell pit if you're clambering around on the top of the frame. You need to be aware that if you're loosening things, they may drop off and land on your foot. All of this is assessing your working environment, assessing the risks, and thinking about not doing the silly things. The Health and Safety at Work Act advises you to write all these things down, listing them and recording them so that you can show that you are doing the job right. There are a number of good publications. The ODG Towers and Belfries Committee website has a very useful guide to health and safety which contains a checklist of the things that you should look for in working in the tower. The Central Council of Bell Ringers also has a very useful publication, as do other organisations, all of which are readily available and give you good guidance as to how to do risk assessments and record them. If you've got it recorded, at least it shows that you are thinking about it and can always add to it and improve it.